Hey there everyone, so in this video we're going to try to build different scenarios. So first of all, let's start with IAM. Let's try to get good with these workflows. So today's goal is to get good up to, let's say up to here, okay, intermediate. So we know this is the workflow. This is how it needs to be built out. So we're going to do up to here. IAM, let's start with IAM. So let's go back to IAM, boom, to IAM. Let's say, for example, let's create a user and a group with custom policies. So for example, let's go on users, and as you can see we have TT root 1, okay. So TT root 1, so we're going to create another user. Okay, we're going to delete these users for now. Confirm. Let's give it some seconds. And let's create a new user. I'm going to call it with1, because we're doing a video right now. With1. And we're going to create a group. Okay, we're going to create a new group. We don't need these for now. We can just, yeah. So we're going to create a new group, and we're going to give it administrator access. Actually, you know what? Let's make this role-based, right? So it's a root. Okay, that's the in user. And let's create an admin group. Okay, administrator access. So as you can see, we have different types of administrator access. So we're going to go with the main administrator access. Okay, we have all types, customer managed, and we have what else? We have these stuff, billing, database administrator, manage job functions. So we can basically give all sorts of full access to this guy. So yeah, we can give it this one. Yeah, I think we should have all sorts of permissions. So we're going to create a user group. I'm going to call it root group or admin group. So admins, we'll create a user group. So now once we create this, you can also create a policy. So what we can do is I'm going to create this number of policies. Okay. Can I do this? Oh, no. Okay, there we go. So once we do that, as you can see, we have admins. So we're going to select, not this one, but we're going to select admins as our group. Okay, so we don't need use permissions boundary to control. Nope, we don't need that. So next. Okay, so now let's go ahead. So this is the root user in the admin group with the admin's permission. So let's create this user. Let's go to custom role, custom policy, role with custom policy. So let's go on roles and let's create a custom role. Okay, role with custom policy. So custom trust policy. So as you can see, create a custom trust policy to enable others to perform actions in this account. We can in fact add other things like, let's say action level, get key access. So let me just enable all these for now. Okay, so we have serverless application development module right here, and we have a few other things. So we can see root. Yeah, so we can have these. I'm gonna enable all these actions actually. And now let's create so let's specify the principal type address with resolution network, I think. AWS Amazon resources name, okay. So let's say for example let's select some services. So for example, I'm going to select no, this is not gonna work. I guess this works. Okay, no, that's not gonna work. Okay, we don't need this conditional. If it's a certain threshold, like let's say for example, I'm not too sure how this works, but it's okay. We'll hit next, and we'll go with next. We'll click on administrator access, and let's just call it admin role, and let's say only already admins. Okay, so we have this, and let's create this role. We have custom policies here. Failed to principal cannot be principal. The missing required field, principal cannot be empty. Interesting. Where is principal? Principal. It's an interesting statement. Okay, principal. Like so. Interesting. Okay, let's go with normal AWS service for now. I just want to see how this works. EC2. Okay, so we have spot instances. Okay. Right, so let's go next. Let's go with next. And yeah, I believe that's for the spot instance. So just like that, let's go with create role. And it should create the role. As you can see, we have the admin role right here. So now we have a role with custom policies. Let's go on EC2 for now. Dashboard. Launch Amazon instance. So let's go ahead and launch a instance. So we have launch templates as well. So I just want to learn about the launch templates, because at some point we do need to use launch templates, which is part of, I think, launch templates was. So scaling can absolutely be used, defined as infrastructure as code using AWS Cloud Formation. You'll see the launch templates on auto scaling groups, right? So I want to learn a little more about that. So let's call it root launch, because that's what we're dealing with here. Root launch. Let's say launching the root user ? Don't include in launch template. Where is it? Prep one, launch one. Okay, so there I have a launch template, but I want to learn like entirely. Let's go on instances. EC2 so let's launch an EC2 instance. So I'm gonna launch a new one. I'm gonna call it. Okay, so we can launch one from the template as well. There's launch instance from the template. So we have this one. So I want to see how this is created. So let's go and launch instance from a template. So launch Amazon instance. This is essentially right. So let's say for example launch templates right here. I'm going to create this is a machine image right here. So we're gonna create a launch template. So let's go on here and let's say for example root template and the template for admins and provide guidance to help me set up a template that I can use with EC2 auto scaling. What's this? Recently launched, I believe. Okay, so we have this AMI. Okay, interesting. Let's go with AMI and let's do it with AMI, right? Yeah, and install it. Include a launch template. So okay, so we can go with this one, I believe. Keep a login. So obviously let's use Willow and test 1 to 3 for now. Well, let's do admin and root because so don't include. What's this? Don't include in launch template. Okay, so subnets, right? So subnets are obviously in VPCs, right? So let's go with this for now, I believe. Let's create a new subnet. I'm gonna call it root. So I know for a fact that the subnets are inside the VPC. So let's say for example, what are we gonna do here? Create a subnet. So we need a VPC in order to put a subnet in, right? So I'm gonna create a new VPC. I'm gonna call it a root VPC. Say root VPC. And we have these private subnets right here, and we have public subnets on both East Coast servers. So we have route tables and the whole thing built out, except it's a little harder to learn like this. So let's go with normal VPC. Okay, so dedicated. Okay, so this is classless inter-domain routing, right? So let's see what it does. Classless inter-domain routing. I should do a little bit of more study, but right now I'm just trying to get some practical experience. Let's call it cloud. Classless inter-domain routing, CIDR. Okay, so let's go with this for now. I want to watch this video back and try to understand private subnets. As you can see, private subnets and the public subnets. So public subnets have internet gateways, and we have a net gateway through a public subnet, which gives internet access for the private subnets. So over here, as you can see, we have 2 public subnets and we have 2 private subnets as well. So let's go ahead and net gateways. So let's say for example 1 per availability zone. Okay, so let's go with that and let's see what the code is looking like. Okay, well, there's a lot of code here. So I believe this is everything together, even with the subnet code and everything. So yeah, now let's go ahead and create this VPC with the subnets included inside. So it's not really part of this workflow, so let's try to stick to this one. So we did create an EC2 instance. Let's go back here. Let's come back eventually. But once we are on so EC2 instance, as you can see, we have which one did we create? Oh, we didn't create an EC2 instance. So we have a launch template, prep1 launch one. Okay, so this is the prep1 launch one, right? Wait, didn't I create like another one? Root template. I'll just quickly go through this. Quick start, say AWS. Scroll down. Let's go with admin and root. And let's go for the free tier for now. Instance type. And because if we don't need one, we can just go with none, but let's go with the latest one that we made. So let's go with the private public subnet for now. I think it's this one. Okay, so root VPC public subnet right here. So we're gonna click on security group, and I'm gonna create a security group right here, and let's just call it security root security and required. So let's say for the admins only. And yeah, so now we're gonna create the security group as well. You can add security group rules right here. So this is a transmission control protocol. That's for normal data, normal communications, and UDPs for streaming services. So we have port range. So let's say port, not port 80. It's used like port 443. That's secure HTTPS. So let's say anywhere. I don't know if I'm doing this right, but okay. Well, let's say my IP. Only my IP can access this. So there's a lot more stuff here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's launch this server. I'm going to enable CloudWatch monitoring. Credit specification, I'm going to do standard. And yeah, I can even not include it, but stop protection. So we can include these based on how we want the launch templates to, like, so it's like a blueprint for the for launching an EC2 instance. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this running like this, and we're going to create a launch template. Okay, so launch Amazon instance, SSH into it, install web server. So we can in fact use the terminal over here as long as we know the username and password, which is admin, and root, which is the password, because that's what we set. So let's open this console real quick, and once we open this console, we're going to SSH into it, as in shell into it, right? Let's skip that for now. Okay, so let's say just put right in the terminal. So let's say SSH, and then we'll type in root. No, we didn't create an EC2 instance, so we need to create an EC2 instance with that. So let's create with the root template right here, and let's go ahead and use whatever it gives us, and we'll create the EC2 instance out of that, so we can even create multiple instances with that. So let's launch this template, and once we do that, SSH into it. So let's go ahead and we're using root admin and root. So it's a root template. No, that's not. Let's go on here. Where is it? It should be this one, isn't it? I just created it with the. Should be something like root template somewhere. But I'm pretty sure it's this one. Should be this one. It shouldn't be this one actually. Alright, this is confusing as shit. Oh wait, it should be this one because we didn't give it a name, right? So let's say SSH so this is CloudWatch monitoring, and you can give it alarm recommendations and stuff. We have security inbound and outbound rules, as you can see. So we can set inbound and outbound rules right here. So that's like incoming traffic versus traffic that's going out from the VPC. So as you can see, we have the networking aspect of this as well. I'm not too familiar with this because it's my first time actually doing this properly. But let me try to do some SSH. So we're going to shell into the instance. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait, let me try to tap out of this. So many stuff here. Wait, okay, so let's call this root instance, or let's call it a root instance, just to stay consistent. So SSH into root instance. Let's say admin at root instance. Is that gonna work? Okay, so in that case we'll use the IPv4. That's this public IPv4 IP. So let's copy this and let's use this one to SSH into it. And let's paste this right here. Paste that. And let's hit enter. And with the admin, because admin is like the username, and we can see admin is the username. This is the password, root. So just to be consistent with this. So let's see if this connects onto it. And in the meantime, I'm also going to go back to S3, which is simple storage. Could we connect? I don't know. Let's see. But let's go to S3. Let's create a bucket. So let's call it a root bucket just to stay consistent. So let's go into, where is it? Let me close this. But, okay, so let's create a bucket. We have different types of buckets right here. Interesting. So we have identity and access manager analyzer for S3. Interesting. So for the buckets, let's create a root bucket. So let's call it root bucket. Recommended for low latency use cases. These buckets use only the S3 Express 1 storage class, which provides faster processing of data with a single availability zone. Let's go with general, isn't it? Purpose, they allow a mix of storage classes that redundantly store objects across, right. So let's go with, where is it? Existing bucket. So we'll go with this one, root bucket. We're creating a new one. Access control list, we don't really need one. For now, ownership, block all public access. No, we'll disable this for now. We can add it later if you want. Block all public access. Block public access to buckets and objects granted through new access control list. Right, interesting. Bucket versioning, we don't need same bucket. Can keep versioning. Right, okay, interesting. Okay, well, let's create this bucket real quick. Oh, what? Let's do that. Oh, come on, bro. What's this? Root. Let's call it admin bucket. Oh, really? I'm gonna call it admin bucket. Okay, that worked. Okay, so we have create the bucket, upload files onto it. So now let's upload some files onto it. So we can create a folder. I'm gonna call it the VPs, and let's use an encryption key. Use bucket settings for default encryption. Okay, you know what? Let's go with normal. Don't use an encryption key. Let's create a folder. Inside this folder, I'm gonna drop some items. So let's go into this folder and drop some upload some items. Upload this one, as you can see. So we have uploaded a screenshot. So now we can go ahead and give it permissions if you want. You can give it certain properties over here, and yeah. So at this point, you want to hit upload, And once you upload it, you can upload it into this folder, as you can see. So what we can do at this point is, wait 1 second. So what we can do at this point is we can enable static website hosting. So that's one part that I need to do outside. So enable static website hosting, CLI. So that's the command line interface right here. So we couldn't connect. Okay, that's interesting. Port. Okay, well, maybe because it's not a port 20. Right, so port 22 is not open, I believe. Configure credentials, manage S3 buckets, wire terminal. Right. So wait, CLI, I've installed this, but I need to try to get this on my terminal. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go with this one. Create a VPC. We have the root VPC right here, so we're gonna create, I think we created this just now, so let's go ahead and let me just close this for now. Okay, so we have the root VPC obviously. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to understand the main network access control list, right? So this is the default VPC. So as you can see, CIDR integration, so we can add resource to the monitor. Interesting. So CloudWatch is for logging. So let's go ahead and say add resources. Okay, well, there's a lot of different VPCs here. So let's go with I'm gonna go with the first two for now. That CloudFront. The infrastructure as code, so traffic percentage monitor, yeah. And let's call it main monitor. Let's create this monitor. Oh well. So let's go ahead and create this VPC as well. What is it? Oh, get off my Packer, dog. The fuck? Operations, configure for this account. Well, it's not here, so I'm not sure where it went, but it's not even here anymore. Loading dashboards. Let's create a dashboard. I'm gonna call it admin dashboard. Very. Alright, well. Okay, so this is the way you want to see it. Okay, that's interesting. Log stable. Right. Let's call it. Let's go with this. In alarm. Okay, well. Okay, so what I'm gonna try to do is I'm going to go with this one because it says okay. Min alarm. Okay, well, this is cool, I guess. These are like new windows for me. I guess we'll do autosave. Okay, well, can I just drag this? Oh well, okay. So we can go to let's go with VPC first. So let's go to VPC dashboard. We have created a custom VPC but with public subnets, and with the subnets attach the public subnet and NAT gateway enable internet access for public subnets. So yeah, in a NAT gateway, where is it? A public subnet to facilitate internet for private subnets. Really, bro? Come on, man. Really? Dude? How many characters am I off? Oh well. Okay, I guess that's fine. Let's go with root VPC right here. So let's go on this one. Private and public subnets. So we have subnets, of course. So we have the root VPC right here. Root VPC right here. So we have the private subnets and the public subnets both. So private. So these are the so internet gateway attached to public subnet, and we have the VPCs as well. So it's attached to this, of course. So this is the one that's so let's call this root ACLs. So in here we can see the inbound and outbound rules. So it's the incoming traffic versus the outgoing traffic. So we can edit those outbound rules as well, as you can see. If you want only certain IPs to access the resources, then you can, you can also enable SSH right here. For example, like if you want people to SSH into the subnet, then we can let's say right here, let me just select this one. So inbound rules, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new inbound rule. We're gonna call it SSH, or let's call it 22. Let's call it 22. And right here we can be like allow, and you can access from anywhere. That's what it's saying right now. So let's save these changes. So okay, so we have inbound rules and outbound rules. So now we can SSH into this root VPC, right? So if I try this again, I should be able to now access this. Access load EC2 instance. Yeah. Can I? Because this is port 22 for SSH. So yeah, I mean PC EC2. Okay, so we have NAT gateways, EC2 instance. So let's go ahead and go on dashboard. Launch instances in both subnets, which is interesting, I guess. I don't know, but what subnets? Yeah, I mean I've launched instances in I've launched this one. So let's go on here. Let's see what this does. Yep. Am I exhausted right now? Very much. But yeah. So we have security group, as you can see. We're using prep1. I'm not sure when I assigned this one, but ALB for listener rules and target groups for EC2. So right here you can see that it says interesting. So let's say, for example, let's go for ALB. Load balancers. Set up listener rules for target groups of for EC2. Interesting. Go on EC2. Okay, well, application load balancer. That's what we want to create. Let's call it root balancer, admin balancer. Internal servers, internal traffic. Alright, well, let's go with these two for now. There's a private subnet, I think. Port 80, it's fine. Alright. That's usual HTTP. It's 443 if it's HTTPS. So over here we can enable. Okay, well. Alright, let's start this. Oh well. Oh, we need a target group, okay. So we need to create a target group. So ALB. Listener rules and target groups, yep. So instances, the root group, and root VPC right here, and we're gonna go for this one for now. What's gRPC? I've heard of this somewhere, so. Interesting concept. So it's a different type of, okay, so it's like an API, I believe. Gotta see what this is about. Transport layer security, public subnet and private subnet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to understand how this works. So the first thing that I'm gonna do here is obviously I'm going to see okay, well, let's copy this. Alright, cloud gRPC. Alright, well, alright, let's go for, we don't need that. Let's go for next. Register targets, interesting. Let's click on this one. I'm gonna create this target group. And once that's done, target groups, okay, well, so root group, where is it? Target groups and target groups for EC2, interesting. Security groups, let's see. Yeah, I can't find it here, but say for example ASG. Let's go on auto-scaling groups. Create launch templates and enable auto-scaling. So let's go on enable create a auto-scaling group. Let's call it root auto. Let's use a template like the root template for now. Let's click on next. Availability zone, so let's select a few zones right here. I'm going to select these ones from the subnet itself. Balance best effort, let's go with that one. Attach an existing load balancer. We don't have one, right? Yeah, we don't have one. So we can create one. Network or application, let's do it on application level. We can add support. Yeah, okay. Turn on elastic load balancing health checks. Let's go for next. Oh, what's up? What? Oh, it's because of this. We need a security group, indeed. Okay. And let's call it, okay. Launch before terminating, terminate and launch. Interesting. Enable group collection metrics within CloudWatch. Okay, well. SNS, okay, this is interesting. So let's create a topic. So let's call it main root SNS. Let's say, for example, we don't need recipient specifically. For now, let's go for. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna include. Alright, well, I included my email. A tag. We don't need tags, right? Right. Okay. So I'm just gonna skip through it for now. Let's create an auto scaling group. RDS. Auto scaling groups. Okay. What? Right, okay. So let's go for RDS for now. Relational databases. So let's go on dashboard. Let's launch MySQL Postgres instance, connect from EC2. So let's go on RDS for now. Let's say for... Alright, let's go on... Let's create a database right here. And, okay, so this is super... Okay, well. Let's go for... We don't need these for now, I don't think so. Let's go with admin for now. Right. Don't connect to an EC2 instance, interesting. It's like yes for now. Okay, well. Identity and access management, that's fine. But really? It's created anyway, that's fine. Admin DB, okay, well. Let's call it admin. Master username admin is a... Right, okay, so... Root database. That should work, right? Connect from EC2. Interesting. I didn't use it. What? DB cluster. Cluster. Yeah, let's just call it main database. That should work, right? I think so. Connect from EC2. Okay, well, fuck me then. Let's say Postgres. Are you kidding me? It's this one. Okay, so let's say, for example, Postgres. Call it maybe. That should work. Alright, well, we just created this, where is it? The admin DB. So these three right here, that's what we're dealing with. Like this part. This part right here is what we're dealing with. So yeah, we just need to work with these instances. So see how this goes. Monitoring. So we have a lot more stuff over here. Okay, well. Well, connect from EC2. Interesting. Security groups. Let's see what this does. Security groups. Yeah, root security. Yep, that's something I made. So let's say, for example, admin security. And for admins. Let's go with the root VPC. That's the one we made. Inbound routes, that's inbound traffic. So let's say port 80. Anywhere IP4, let's say. We don't need this. Okay, we already have that. Interesting. Inbound rules, let's say only my IP can access it. Because I'm the admin. Say all traffic. I need to give my... So I'm gonna use port 80 to access with my IP. And let's say create a security group. That was access control list. So in ACL, I have it here. Alright, well, this control list set inbound, outbound rules, test traffic control. Let's go for access control list. Fork ACL, so let's create a root admin ACL. We already have one called root ACL, but let's create it anyway. Root VPC right here. Create a network access control list. Alright, so admin ACL right here. So we can select the type of subnets we want to select for this. So you can select, as you can see, these are the subnets in the VPC. So let's select these, which are the, so now it should say 4. Alright, well, now it's assigned from root to admin. So I can just delete this for now, just to avoid confusion. That's because I think I need to delete. Oh well, let's just leave it then. So yeah, set inbound, outbound rules. Test the traffic. So as you can see, we have outbound rules. Up, deny. Okay, well. Can I... Interesting. So it both denies, that's crazy. Might have to create new rules here. All traffic, okay, all traffic is denied, but it's only my IP, basically. Interesting stuff. Network ACL, right? Test traffic control. So let's see, let's try to attempt the pro as well. Go for API gateway. And create a REST API with get post methods, that's the basics. Let's try to create one. But since the console is so confusing, we might take some time to understand. So create a REST API with get post methods. So that's our only objective right now. Let's create a REST API. Build admin API. Only for admins. And let's select for now let's go with the regional, not edge optimized, because we don't need the best speeds. Okay, well now we can create resources. So let's say slash admins. So let's say admin. Cross origin resource sharing, that's fine. Right, let's create this resource. So this one should be post method. Let's have a post method here. So let's say options. Not this one, but API actions. Let's go back one step. Let's say create method. HTTP request. Let's say get request. Oh well. So right here, this needs to be right. Enable cross-origin resource sharing. Let's do that. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. Okay, well, we need like the post request, like how to do that. So let's go to HTTP. Say, let's do post. So get request slash admins. So it's like the default. Okay, so let's say get request. In that case, I don't need this, right? integration URI specified. Okay, well, can I do that? I don't know, like, can I just give like a random URL? Is that gonna work? Okay, well, so this is /admins, right? So this is the base path, right? That's like the main root file. And let's say we create a GET request, HTTP method. I'm a little confused with these, but it's okay. And so we can give different types of content over here. But yeah, I mean, we have /admin created, so that's pretty good. Create an authorizer. Interesting. APIs, we have the admin API, of course. So let's go back. Lambda, so let's say lambda. Write and deploy Node.js or Python function, that's fine. Let's deploy a function. It's event driven, of course, so we can create a workflow. So let's say admin check or something like that. So let's go with Node.js for now. And give up. Let's say admin security. Okay, let's create a function. Okay, so as you can see, we have the VPC. So lambda, so this is the event, the Python, the Node.js function. So we can write the actual function in here. Except you can use a workflow. And if you have a workflow, you can like automate the whole procedure. So let me just delete this real quick. Confirm. So you can have a workflow here. And once you have the workflow, it's super simple. Create an application. So we have one lambda function, but you can usually create lambda workflows. Step functions, my bad. That's what the workflow in different steps. So let's go on. Alright, let's get started. Let's go on DynamoDB. This mess. Interesting. So these are all individual functions that need to be executed in steps. It's like a diagram right here. So let's go for DynamoDB for now, just to keep things simple. Create a NoSQL table, integrate with Lambda. Interesting. Alright, so we have DynamoDB, and let's go on. Let's create a table. Let's go admin Dyno. Okay. Means only. Let's call admin for now. Don't need that. Let me create this table. Okay, right here. So how does it look like inside? There's a CloudWatch, so you can turn on CloudWatch insights. You can monitor everything over here to CloudWatch. Well, okay. There's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, well, CloudWatch, where is it? DynamoDB, that's fine, integrated with Lambda, interesting. So we'll try to integrate this with Lambda. So let's go on Visual Tables. Let's integrate this with Lambda. So where is it? Integrate. Integrations right here. I'm gonna try to, this is for machine learning, so it's big data analytics. OpenSearch, I'm not too sure what that is, but how do I integrate it with Lambda? So let's say, for example, how do I integrate DynamoDB with? Alright. AWS console, create table. DynamoDB create table. Interesting. Yeah, we've created this, define a table and primary key. What? We don't need a replica, we just need... Okay, well, Integrated with Lambda. S3, which is for simple storage. CloudFront. We've done S3, so I'm gonna stay away from that for now. Integrated with Lambda, S3, and CloudFront. So CloudFront is content distribution network, so it's admin. What's this? It's admin bucket. Let's go with that. It's admin bucket right here. The admin distribution. Or let's go with the usual name. Origin access control, interesting. Okay, well, we created a distribution. That's nice. Okay, well, we have distributions, CloudFront distributions right here. So CloudFront, upload assets to S3, so via CloudFront. So you connect it to S3, like your S3 bucket. I mean, we have connected it to this S3. It's connected to this one, right? Yeah, this one. See, admin bucket. So everything in the admin bucket, you can serve it to the public world with the CloudFront, distribution network, CDN. So now, see, serve globally. Let's go on Route 53. Let's go to Route 53, register domain. So for that, you need to buy a domain, but for now, I'm just gonna skip that. Set DNS to CloudFront, so that way people can access the URL, and then through the URL, they can access what the content is. So you can give it a certain domain, things like that. So code pipeline, CI/CD pipeline for GitHub Actions. Right. Let me go on GitHub Actions. I gotta get familiar with GitHub Actions. I'm gonna go with this one for now. Voxel.com. Okay, well, it's not transferable. Okay. In that case, we'll go back to register a domain. Let's try Veloxel.com. There's like $14 or something, and there we go. So we can just go with this one, just to sort of experiment with this. So you need to connect this, so we just need to connect it, set it to CloudFront, that's all. Code pipeline, let's go on code pipeline. This is for CI/CD. GitHub Actions, quick start. So yeah, continuous deployment, automation, code scanning pages. This is part of DevOps. The code pipeline is like DevOps automation pipeline with GitHub Actions. So actions to Lambda S3. Interesting. So it's like a pipeline. So it takes every commit that you make to GitHub Actions. You can, let me go on my GitHub repository. And any commits you make to your GitHub repos, it needs to be, so let's say for example, let's go with this one. So right here, any commits you make, it needs to, where is it, actions? It needs to automate the procedure of receiving it to a S3 bucket or Lambda function. So push to Elastic Container Registry. Now we're going to use CloudFormation now. No. Really custom pipeline. We use Jenkins for that, but right now let's go with custom pipeline. Admin pipeline. Let's go like that. And next. Source provider. Let's go with this one for now. Let's go with S3 for now then. Okay, so we don't need this for now. Yeah, we don't need that for now. We don't have any environment variables. The commands you want it to run. Okay, interesting. Right. Let's just do echo hello world for now. There we go. So we can go with CloudWatch. So code pipeline is fine, right? So we automate this GitHub Actions to Lambda S3. Then we use CloudWatch. So we can just use so we can use this to deploy to EC2 right here. GitHub Actions. So let's go with this one. Configure. So ISC for Terraform for ISC. So this is what they're talking about. This file. Okay, so this is a different. Yeah, so you want to modify a few of these and then make sure it publishes properly. You can get the help of GPT, but then once that's done, you want to commit the changes. And we can just commit for. Okay, so we can use that start a pull request, okay? Actions demo. Interesting, I need to look into this properly. Actions. So GitHub Actions need to be automated to, this one. AWS. That's part of, this build a CI/CD pipeline for GitHub Actions with Cloud. So this needs to be done. See CloudWatch, monitor logs, create alerts. Monitor logs, create alerts, and dashboards. So let's go on, monitor logs, dashboards. Admin dashboard. So we can monitor all the logs from, where's the logs dash? Log group. The live trail. Let's go from this one. There's no trails obviously because we haven't made any requests. So you can monitor everything from here. So create alerts. Admin dashboard. This is the CloudWatch thing that I've created so far. Edit. You can add alarms. So I have this alarm right here. What's this? Should we just create this one? No. Okay, well. Dashboards, okay. This is expert level, so I'm gonna do this later. Because I've been doing this for almost an hour, so. Thank you guys so much for coming by for this video. And yeah, see you guys in my next one. We'll do this over and over a few more times. Keep, improving active recalling with GPT. Trying to do GitHub action stuff. As you can see, we're getting closer. I feel it. As far as DevOps goes, let me show you guys something. So as far as DevOps goes, where is it? Let me show you guys something here. DevOps stuff, right here. No. So this is DevOps, as you can see. We have get basics, DNS, HTTP, TCP, IP, SSH. So we need to get good with the GitHub Actions. Docker is of course not that difficult. So composing is obviously, getting the application up and running. Jenkins is for CI/CD pipeline automation, and you can connect a Jenkins CI/CD pipeline with AWS itself. I think so, right? Jenkins pipeline could be connected with AWS directly. Yeah, okay, so you can use Jenkins for, let me show you guys. So Jenkins, you can add all the things related to your AWS pipeline if you want to separately see over here. This is a Jenkins pipeline, so GitHub Actions, as you can see. So everything you can automate it with more control. So as you can see, let me just copy this. So it's a Cloud Jenkins pipeline. And let me also include the fact that a Jenkins pipeline could be directly connected to EC2, right? And with that being said, what we're going to do next, we're going to try to go back to EC2 right here. Okay, so with that being said, I think it's a pretty good one for today. And we got familiar with some stuff. And we didn't deploy this, of course, because, But yeah, you need to be really good at understanding like how to, work with logs. Of course, I didn't set the credentials and stuff properly over here on the YAML file. So I didn't really push, but you get the point. So you need to modify these and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I showed you guys what needs to be done, so organization level, we can do that in some time. And we need to get familiar with DevOps, which is very important. Where is it? Yeah, so as you can see, we have DevOps. Where is it? Right here. Oh, not here, but right here we have DevOps. So you see over here, we need to get familiar with GitHub Actions, CI/CD, automating it. We have AWS, obviously, Terraform for infrastructure as code, Ansible, I think it's also orchestration, Kubernetes for orchestration of containers, and deploy to AWS with Terraform plus Ansible. Interesting. Ansible, interesting term. Ansible. Okay, well, it's like Kubernetes the way I see it. What's different about it? Okay, so you can orchestrate, with Ansible, you can orchestrate Kubernetes. This Ansible can be Ansible. Yeah, okay. So it's an all-in-one basically. No. Right. Interesting. So we need to look into this a little deeper. But yeah, so pretty cool stuff. Let's go on to go back over here. So yeah, Ansible, and let me keep track of that message real quick. Give me a second, guys. Let's keep track of this one. That way it's easier. So as you can see, we have Terraform and stuff like that. So Prometheus, Grafana, ELK, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. So that's for searching through logs and visualizing it. Kubernetes Advanced Vault. Yeah. So as far as cloud engineering goes, I've done this pretty well. So as far as cloud engineering goes, we need to get familiar with IAC, Route 53, Key Management Service. So KMS is something that I've missed. So Key Management Service. Web Application Firewalls, Guard Duty List for Wires, Checking, Security Hub, Config, Secures Manager, CI/CD of course, CloudTrail, Red Teaming, AWS IAM Abuse,